All right. I'm David G.
I'm Cooper.
I'm Arpan.
And I'm Mameki.
If you look for the good moments
And learn from the bad.
You're in the right place. This is the Live and Learn podcast. All right. So today we have our very wonderful guest, Mameki, joining us today. And we are going to be talking about entrepreneurship in the early stages and developing big ideas. Okay. All right. So Mameki, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Mameki?
Okay, well, so my full name is Mameki Danzo. I'm currently a sophomore in college right now. So I guess you could say I've always been a business person. I remember the very first time I would say I did something business related would be first grade. So there used to be like these markers, the smelly markers, and if you had them back then, you were considered a cool kid. So what I would do is I had this little notebook. I would write down names and stuff. And this is when I came across the word appointment. So it was like a huge thing for me. I'm like, okay, so this is what appointment means. So I would charge the kids in class $0.25 to use my markers for like a full day. And I would write their name, what time they used it, what color marker they took and stuff like that. So that's when it really first started. And then came second grade, did the same thing. And then third grade, I started selling snacks, but that didn't last long. And then, so I just been selling things all throughout. Then up to eighth grade is when seventh grade is when I went in the bathroom. I took the scissors and I and I cut my hair. And afterwards, I kept the hat on because I didn't want my mom to see. But finally, she found out and she was like, "Forget it."
Why did you cut your hair?
Okay, so I came across YouTube. Well, YouTube was always around, but I wasn't really into YouTube. But I started watching more and more videos. I saw girls my skin color with like very pretty, like nice curly, kinky hair, and I was like, "Oh my God! Like, do I have hair like that?" So as I did more research, I found out, turns out I actually do, because I would notice that my roots were really curly and then my ends were like straight. So what I had was heat damage and chemical damage because I would always get perms. So that's when I just said, screw it. I just cut away. And then my mom found out. So at first she was mad, but finally she gave in and she just helped me cut the rest of my hair. So that's when I started my natural hair journey. So I was on YouTube specifically for hair. But somehow I got introduced into drop shipping and the whole online stores and stuff like that. So keep in mind, I'm in seventh grade. I'm learning more and more. And I came across this one kid. I forgot his name. He was 16 at the time, according to him, when he started his drop shipping business. So I did research and it was talking about, all you need is eBay. Amazon.
So you got into drop shipping in what grade?
Seventh grade.
Seventh grade. So do you think a seventh grader should have any business drop shipping?
No, yes and no, depending. So I got into drop shipping in seventh grade. I did some research. I made an Amazon account, got verified. I did everything in my mom's name. Did I have permission? No.
But the Amazon doesn't let seventh graders drop ship or do have an account?
No, because they want to verify your age, your name, and all of that for tax purposes. So I knew
Wait. So you knew your mom's like social security and all that information?
Yes.
Did you have to dig around and find the paperwork, or was it just lying around?
I guess you could say just lying around, because my mom always keeps all of our paper in like this one specific area, birth certificate, IDs, anything. So I would just go in and just grab what I needed. So that's what I did. So I already knew all of my mom's information by the time I was in seventh grade. So I went in, created an...
When did she find out?
I mean, see, that's the thing. My mom's always been supportive. Like, I would do it, then I would tell her.
So you're the ask for forgiveness later person.
Pretty much, because I knew she would support. So, and plus, I always told her, when I make it, you can have your big house, you can have your dream car, you can have whatever you want. So I had my Amazon account set up. eBay was easy; they didn't really require much. So I also had that set up. And then next was the finding out what's the hottest product, products, what's going to make you more money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I use Amazon. I will look for what's selling right now. And then that's where I got into finding suppliers. Came across this one company, forgot their name, but they cost $80 for a membership. So I begged my mom to give me $80 just so I can apply. So I applied.
Wait, what is this program?
It's this. I forgot their name, but pretty much they have different suppliers and stuff, and you will go through. It's like legit suppliers. So instead of using Alibaba or AliExpress and getting scammed, they're all verified.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's worth the investment.
Okay.
So they had different suppliers and stuff there. You would just go out, reach to them. You guys would agree on a deal and stuff like that. So I had did that, and then there was another website called Banggood, I think, Banggood or Banggoods, kind of similar to AliExpress, but it's a little different. Mm-hmm. So I also applied for that. So drop shipping is pretty much where you find a product. So you're like the middleman. So you find a product, you sell it for 2 times, 3 times higher than the actual price. And then when the customer pays you, you go through, pay the supplier, and the supplier ships it out for you. So you don't have to worry about shipping or any of that, or having the product on hand. So I thought about it. I was like, okay, I like that. So I did more research, and I came across a 16-year-old. According to him, he was able to save up to $30,000 and was able to get his dream car and keep some money for college.
You said 13?
No, 30.
Oh,
30,000.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot.
No, the age.
Oh, he was 16.
16, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He was 16. And it's
From drop shipping?
Yeah. And when I think about it, I was like, okay, because the car I want a Jaguar. I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to get a $70,000 car. I had a whole plan. Okay.
At what age? Well, how old were you when you wanted this car?
I think I didn't even have my license or anything then. That's the thing. So I think I was like 13 or 14 at the time.
Dreaming big.
Yeah, because my plan was to get my my permit at 16. So I had the whole plan and how I was going to do that, how much I was going to pay a month for insurance, all of that. So
Wait, so then where's the Jaguar now then?
we gonna get to that. Reality happens. So after failing multiple times, I was frustrated, and I came across a lot of scammers on eBay. So there was this thing where they will send out an email saying, "Oh, this person has paid you." Ship their product. The whole time it was a fake email. So I'm thinking, oh, it's PayPal.
Oh, like a phishing scam?
Yeah, like a phishing scam. So it will look like PayPal actually send it. But when I log into my PayPal account, I'm like, I don't see the money. Mm-hmm. So I would like message them back on eBay and be like, sir, I don't see the money. I would try to sound so professional, but I just know they do. And then what happened after that? Oh, and then so after just having to go through that a lot during the time, and plus the products I was trying to sell just wasn't the best idea at the time, because I was more focused on getting rich quick or making a few quick bucks and just being done. So after being,
so why didn't that work then?
Because it was okay. So I was trying to go for things like a game controller and stuff, PlayStations, and it just wasn't, no.
Well, because like the cost was too much?
Yeah, the cost was too much. And plus, I didn't know back then, but not everybody could sell it. I think you needed like a license. Mm-hmm. Like you had to be in agreement with the actual people. Like, oh, okay, you're
Sony.
Yeah, like with Sony and stuff. Like
verified.
Yeah,
like retailer.
You had to be a verified retailer. So they would have permissions. Like you would know they're legit and it's not no knockoff.
Exactly.
So I wasn't aware of that at the time. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, okay, he said he has this and that. I'm just gonna trust them. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really I didn't have that much knowledge back then. So after failing so many times, I finally went on the website is called Quora. I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. Quora. Where you can Quora, where you can ask questions and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I went back to the boy who had made his post and stuff. I searched his name on Facebook, found him. So I was trying to reach him, but Facebook wouldn't let me send him a friend request. So I went through his friend list. I added everybody on his friend list. Thank God. Somebody added me back, and that was his cousin. So I messaged him. I was like, hi, you don't know me. I'm this age. I'm trying to get a hold of him, and I see you guys are friends. Can you please connect us? And I told him what it is that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, okay, no problem. That's actually my little cousin. So he was like, I'll see what I can do. So after a couple of hours, the guy actually messaged me back.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went and asked him a couple of questions, and I asked him, how were you able to get traffic to your website? Like how did you get your products to sell? And he pretty much just told me that he posted at least 30 products a day. So he was consistent, and that was something I lacked. I wasn't as consistent. Like I was more focused on one product and stuff, and then I wasn't as good at marketing and doing advertisements at the time. So Facebook advertising wasn't working, and I didn't have a job, so I was very low on my budget. So he told me some ideas, and I tried it, and it just didn't work because at the time it wasn't as saturated, but I didn't have a proper foundation or like the funds to like help
Startup
me.
capital.
Yeah, startup capital and stuff like that. So that was a fail, but I still kept drop shipping with me. Like
what did you end up learning?
Oh, well, first I learned how important it is to make sure people are actually legit. So like I got more into regulations, policies, and just rules overall. And then I also learned more about advertising and stuff. So I got more into Facebook advertising. I went to watch a couple of videos on how you work with the settings and stuff.
Yeah.
So overall,
we're also doing like SEO stuff as far as like tracking like the type of people that will buy your products.
Oh yeah, and also that actually comes on later on.
Yeah.
So after failing for a while, I believe I was in 9th or 10th grade again. And I was like, okay, let me give this a try. So I had a job now. I was working at Walmart because the plan was to go get a job, save up, and then try to use that money. Didn't work. Had horrible money management. So I still tried anyway. I remember I bought this course, this dropshipping course. So I watched
you bought those courses?
Yes. And
those courses are terrible.
I know. I watched and it was like, it's just literally everything that I already know.
It's always like the basic stuff of like, any like person who could do a quick Google search would find.
I know.
It's never like information that would actually like help or like propel you forward.
It was just so promising. So I'm like, okay, if he could do it, I could do it. So I applied and
How much did you spend?
It was only like $200. They had a sale.
Don't say only $200 like it's not some money.
Okay, it is, but they had a sale at the time, so it was like a $1,000 bundle value, but we'll give it to you for $200. So,
that's the scam, right? They say that it's worth $2,000 so that, the $200 price tag seems like more reasonable.
I was in 10th grade. Plus, I learned about that method later on.
That's an egregious one. Usually it's like, they'll say like, oh, this product is worth like, like $300. But for you, because we're doing a special deal, we're going to knock it down to like $170 or something like that.
I know.
It's like $1,000 value. Jesus.
So 10th grade came. This time I found a niche. I went on Fiverr, got a logo and everything. So I was ready. So I decided to get into makeup. So I used AliExpress. I looked at the ratings to see what makeup products were selling the fastest and stuff. And then I also went and looked at some competitions to get an idea on what their best selling was as well, so that I can copy from them. But that still didn't work out. Again, I was still inconsistent, and I was expecting it to be a get rich quick thing, because a lot of the things
you haven't learned your lesson.
Yeah, a lot of the things the YouTube gurus don't tell you is that it takes time, and that the first time isn't always going to be like it right there.
Of course, I feel like that's like the biggest thing that a lot of like young people, or just like young people trying to like get into like entrepreneurship, don't understand. They'll see like the big success of like, this like person, oh wow, they're doing so well, but like not realize like the hard work and like effort that, got them to that point. Because I think there's like a really big saying that I like is like it takes like 14 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah, I think you say that like every episode.
I might. I don't know. It's very relevant. It's very relevant.
No,
okay.
It's good to nail it down.
But yeah, continue.
Where's I at?
You were on
You're sophomore, and
You just bought the course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I bought the course.
Or no, you started makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, makeup. Okay, so that didn't work again. The picture they sold to me, I didn't really see it happening. So it was like, that's when reality kind of hit me. And then my mom starts bringing up college, and then school starts bringing up college. So now it's like, I just have a lot to do. So I started driving. Now it's like, okay, I have car insurance to pay, and I have this to pay, or I have to now it's like I have to be more responsible. And it's like, I can't just rely on drop shipping to be the way. Like, I need to have a backup plan and stuff. So my whole plan changed, but drop shipping was still on my mind. I was like, okay, I'm gonna move from this, but I'll still do research on it. I'll still learn from this and so on. So I stopped, and then I got back into it a couple of months again, this time on Shopify. So I went and bought a logo on GoDaddy and all. So I thought I was set, and I still failed again. So at this point I was like, okay, maybe drop shipping is dead. So
okay, well the really interesting thing to me, and I like, because we had this conversation before, is like you got into like drop shipping like super early when it was like actually still profitable. Because like I don't think it's profitable anymore. Like it's like
or at least it's harder to be.
Very, because like it's super oversaturated. You know, like you have to like have like, you know, some like really like you have to catch trends like super heavy.
Yeah.
Like
or you have some sort of program that's like doing it for you.
Exactly. So to like hear that, like, you know, you've like went through like all of these like, you know, trial and error situations when like dropshipping was like actually popping, shows how difficult that, like, you know, it actually probably was. Because it's not an easy process.
It's not as easy as they make it seem.
Yeah. So was that $200 course worth it?
No, it's not. Definitely wasn't. It was not. It was not. So after that, I got into hair. So I've been growing my hair since I cut it in 7th grade. So like I said, I didn't have the funds. So I was always a YouTube person. So how to make your own hair oil, how to make your own deep conditioner, how to make this, that. So throughout the years, I've always been creating. I guess you could say I've been somewhat creating a hair brand without knowing. So by the time I was in 10th grade, people be like, oh my God, I love your hair. Is that your real hair? How'd you get it like this? What do you use? Like, and I'm like, I don't really use nothing besides my own products. So, you know, I started making little samples for my mom, aunts, and like close family members and stuff. They started using it, got some pretty decent feedbacks on them as well. And I also got some bad feedbacks as well. So things I could work on.
What's the bad?
The smell.
The smell?
Yeah, because a lot of my ingredients that I use is stuff like onion. It's really good for your hair, but it's just the smell. Coffee, great for your hair, just the smell. So it's just, again, the smell of it. And then, so when you mix water and oil, you know how the oil sits on top of the water?
Yep.
So I was also lacking the knowledge. So that's when the science part came in. Like, okay, it turns out there's like this thing that like helps it become one. I forgot what it's called. Something like that. So there's different kinds. So you have to look to see, okay, do I use this for more oil based or more water based? So I still had a lot to learn in that criteria. But by the time I was in, I would say 12th grade. By the time I was in 12th grade, I was like more confident. I was leaning more. I had like a full hair growth oil, like ingredient recipe all figured out and stuff. So I always had that. So,
wait, so like were you still like using kind of like how should I say this? Like raw ingredients for everything, or like because you said you figured out like the science, like we're using like compounds of like, you know, like the ingredients that you wanted to use, or like how did you like break it down?
Okay,
can you tell us without giving away the secret sauce?
Okay, so for the hair oil, I came across a what's the word? It's pretty much it just helps with oil life, so it doesn't go moldy or get bad. I forgot the name. Oh my goodness. But
isn't this your product?
Yes.
It's like a preservative?
A preservative. That's the word I'm looking. Preservative.
Okay.
So I have a preservative. So I found a great preservative that pretty much helps with the oil life and stuff. So I did some research. Campus Beauty is a company that I love. Shea Moisture, I like them. Cantu, I personally like them, but a lot of naturals don't like them. So I went through, I saw, okay, how long is their oils able to be used for and stuff. So just so I can get an idea about preservatives, which I came down to 6 months of shelf life. That was good enough.
Yeah.
So I had that figured out. And then for compounds with the mixing the shea, well, for the hair cream, mixing the shea and the oil to get it all to like be just one and creamy. I came across a compound, but I don't really like that. So I'm still kind of looking for that. But as of now, I just have my detangler and my hair oil. That's like all like.
So those are the two products that you have
that I like the actual results it gives, because the hair detangler is just okra and a couple of other things. So it's great for hair slips for people with really tight curly hair like mine.
Yeah.
So that's very easy to use. Plus I like the smell as well. And then so I got those figured out. So now I'm still kind of working on like the hair cream, because the thing about hair.
Well, wait. So how are those like two products like doing right now? Because like again, when I talked to you last, I know you were telling me that the oil, you were like kind of like trial testing it, like giving like free samples to like people and like seeing like feedback and everything. Where is it today? Like like what's like the progress?
Well, as of now, progress is still slow, but I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So far, I have my logo figured out. I have my bottle size and amount and everything figured out. I know how much goes into a bottle now to create it, and I have more, I guess you could say, more results now and more feedback than I had before. So now I'm even more confident. So at the moment, I'm working on my website, so that I can at least I can start selling my hair oil.
So you've like figured out like the packaging, containment, and like taking care of all of that.
Taking care of all of that.
Basically, like so the moment like you set up your website, you can basically start shipping stuff.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Even right now.
Sorry, what's your website going to be called?
Oh, Mameki's.
Mameki's?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I just decided to make my name my logo. Overall, Mameki's hair, Mameki's clothing, Mameki's
can you
fashion.
pull up a picture of the logo?
You said what?
Can you pull up a picture of the logo?
Oh, yes, actually. Got it.
I'm going to have to step out in a few minutes here, so.
All good.
Yep, but.
Yeah, when are you planning on leaving?
It's been a pleasure thus far. I wish I could stay longer, but. Duty calls.
Okay, so this is it right here. And that's it with the
play
black
on
background.
words with the key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
So
see it.
Mameki's. So that's my hair growth oil labeling. So it has hair growth oil on it, and then
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
always
sick.
able to go in and just change it. But yeah.
All right, well.
All right, so goodbye, Cooper.
Yep.
We will
All right,
see you
have a good
next
night.
week.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Yep. I'll see you guys.
Peace. All right, and then there were three.
And then there was.
Oh, okay, whatever. Are you trying to like game?
I'm not. I'm
me
just
right
saying.
now?
I mean, okay. I am so clumsy.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay. So your first two products ready to go. Got your logo. Setting up the website. And you have one more product that you're going for right now.
Well, I have a lot of other products that I'm going for because I still have to work on shampoo, deep conditioning, and stuff. But
so you're basically setting up an entire hair care line.
Entire hair care line, and I want to make sure I take my time and actually get the ingredients right, because it's like what works for my hair may not work for your hair. So I want to make different variations if I have to, like understand, okay, why doesn't it not work for this and that hair? Plus, throughout my journey, I'm also trying to learn as more about hair as I can. So I'm always looking at different cultures, different religions and stuff. So for example, like the, I believe they're called the Yao woman. I think they live in China or Japan. They have very long, beautiful hair. that they're the ones that Weiss Water, the whole little Weiss Water method and challenge came from. So it's pretty much where you put rice in water and you let it ferment, and it's supposed to have nutrients and stuff.
Okay.
So when I came across that, I tried that and I noticed that my hair would be very brittle, and I didn't like the smell. So I did more research on it, and it turns out people weren't making it the right way. You actually have to add essential oils to it. There's this fruit that you're supposed to add. It's a relative of the grapefruit family that also helps with the smell, and you add other herbs and other essential oils and stuff. So I found that very interesting. So I'm also kind of leaning towards that as well. So I still have a lot of testing.
And so, what's the purpose of this product?
Oh, that would be like the protein treatment, because rice water is supposed to have a lot of protein, which helps with hair elasticity. And yeah, so I'm leaning towards that as well. And then another thing I'm doing is signing up for like seed programs. So I currently just won one at my school for.
How much money did you win?
$2,000, and then I get like my own little office in school, and then
seriously?
Yeah,
to, like, work on everything?
Yeah, so that was very nice. And then my mentors also have connections and stuff, so I'm working on that. Hopefully, that will help lower the cost of of the goods. Just the cost of how much it costs is to make the things.
Yeah, just like cost of like manufacturing. And everything.
That. And so that's what I have going on for the hair company right now. And then while I was working on my hair, I always kept sewing. Like I would sew an outfit or a quick little dress, and I would always post pictures, and people would be like, "Did you make that? Did you make that? Did you make that?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." So recently, my cousin's best friend, do you know Aisha?
I think so.
Okay, so her best friend Tita, she actually just started her own fashion business called Tila Vey and stuff. So she dragged me along to one fashion show that she had, and I loved it. Like I fell in love, and ever since
When was this?
This was a while back, the first fashion show we went to, but ever since we've been going to like a couple of shows. I just went to a show with her recently in St. Paul. And
is it a bunch of like local brands?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of local brands. It's just nothing but local brands. So
gotcha.
That was really dope, and it was just very inspiring. Like, oh, okay, you did that. Oh, okay. Like it was just so inspiring.
I bet it was like probably really great for like networking as
well. It
It
was, and the girls were just super, super nice. And it's not just designers. There's also models, and there's people there as well to buy in, stuff like that. So that was a great experience. So ever since, me and her, we've been thinking about a collabing and stuff. But it's like I don't want to do too much at a time. Yeah. Like I want to have my feet in the water, but not be there like fully.
Of course, I mean you don't have like too much stuff that like starting to like get overwhelmed with like how much you have on your plate. But like to that extent. I know you said you had like a jean like company that you like had in the works.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing is I also have a jean company that I was supposed to be working on, but me and my partner didn't work at as well. So that's kind of on hold, and that's how I met Tita. And now everything's just been going great with Tita. I'm more on the streetwear side. She's more into like the African prints and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we're talking, and we came up with this nice idea, which I'm really looking forward to. So it's like combining my idea with her. So it's like it's her company, and I'm just like underneath her. And I feel like that's like a great start for me because, like I said, I'm not too overwhelmed. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm still able to do what I love. So once I succeed,
so does she already have like a fully like established
fully established,
and like so you're basically like working under her as like an assistant? Or
as an assistant, pretty much as an assistant. And she also allows me to like put my ideas out there. So like if I have an idea that I like. I could show her, and like doing a walkway and stuff, a model will wear one of my pieces and stuff, but at the same time I'm still under her, so we're like united. Yeah. So I really love that. So I have that with her, and then I also have trading. So I came across trading again my senior year of high school. Came across trading. It was this huge get rich quick, bringing this person, bringing that. So my cousin called me. She talked me into it. I think I paid like $260 or $280 to join IML's team, or maybe it was $240. IML Academy pretty much is this company. They're supposed to help teach you how to trade.
But trade, do you mean like stocks?
Trade as in the Forex forex industry.
Okay.
So like they have
So
currency,
Currency
yeah,
trading.
forex currency. So they have currencies, they have bitcoins and US 30, and so like different indices and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So she told me about that. It sounded good. I joined. Again, I procrastinated a lot because I'm like, I have a whole 30 days membership. Plus,
Yeah.
they made it seem like, okay, if you don't know how to trade, we have a group where you can get signals and stuff. So you can just copy off the signals until you learn. So I finally started watching the videos. The company wasn't really doing as good as a job as they could. Like there was still some parts that was complicated especially for somebody like me who just started like fresh in the water. So I had to go out my way to watch some YouTube videos and stuff. So one of my favorite people is the Swag Academy. Ty, he does a great job.
Are these like YouTubers?
Yeah,
that,
these
like,
are
do, like,
YouTubers.
Forex?
Yeah, on Forex and stuff. They go into details. They show you strategies. They talk about do's and don'ts and stuff. So I actually learned more from them than I did from the academy. So after a while, I just left the academy.
Mhm.
Plus, it was also the team. They were more focused on bringing people in. I guess you call it the pyramid scheme
Mhm.
or whatever.
You didn't learn your lesson the first time?
No, I didn't. So there was that, and I just got tired of it. So I left that team. So I was trading by myself for a while now. This is when COVID came. This is when the whole COVID pandemic happened. So it was like
So around like 2020? Or
yeah,
like,
2020.
yeah.
So 2020, quit the team. I'm trading by myself now. I actually met a trading partner. That didn't last for long.
Why didn't it last so
That was so ominous. Damn.
So we just wasn't, I guess you could say we didn't have the same drive.
Yeah?
You know,
What does that mean?
we just didn't have the same drive. I wanted this to work for me.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter what happens, I wanted it to work for me.
Mhm.
And at first it was like that with him, but then at the same time, he was kind of like we were just like, because you could say drifting
Mhm.
in a way. Like,
You guys were on two different pages.
yeah, we're on two different pages.
I mean, that's kind of bound to happen, especially when you're putting like money on the line.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, you kind of need to be with the game if you want to partner up in like a financial level like that too. Because that's kind of iffy for both parties if something goes wrong.
True. Like, money's on the line. You're like, investing stuff.
Mhm.
If
You go into a drawdown, and all of a sudden the person freaks out.
that's a sticky situation to be in. So like, I feel like it's honestly better in the long run that like, you guys aren't working together anymore, because like you're not both putting in the same amount of like effort and like trying to like achieve like your specific goals for Forex. Then like, what's the point?
Yeah. So then after that, I was trading for myself. This was, I think, did it get worse in like, it was like February to March, right? When they started the lockdown.
Oh,
It was like
yes?
February, like beginning of March, like the end of February. End of February to like beginning of March is when I believe the lockdown was set.
Something like that.
It
It all
was like-
blends together.
like all I know, it was second semester of like junior year, and that's when everything started going bad.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what that like time frame is, but like after winter.
Yeah, it was like mid-February to like the beginning of March, let's say. So then I kept trading, and I started becoming like, I guess you could say, profitable at the time. So I was making
How much money were you putting in?
Oh, so I was putting $100. Again, another mistake that I learned along the road is actually good to have capital. So that way that I'm not over leveraging and blowing out my account with just $100, because it's like, okay, I'm trying to make $200. So now I'm over here with the $100 account, taking crazy lot sizes and losing the money. Just
Can you explain what that means?
Okay, so leverage is pretty much how much you're willing to risk. So they always say if you always only risk about 10% of your account. So if you have $100, only risk $10. And I was risking more than that. Let me just put it like that. And so that's lot sizes. So they always recommend a 0.1 lot size if you have, I believe, $500 or less. Everybody's different on what they recommend. And at the time, I didn't really know about risk management. I would just enter a trade without a stop loss. And a stop loss is pretty much once your money gets low to a certain point, it automatically takes you out. So you're not in the
you
negative.
don't take a complete loss.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you don't take a complete loss. And then you have your take profit. So once it hits a point in the market that you claim it would hit, it automatically takes you out and you keep your profit in case the market reverses and stuff.
Okay.
So they have that. I was just so focused on like making the money, and at first it was good. I was making $100, so I started off with
a day.
Yeah, $100 a day, and it was just I was excited. I'm like, okay, I don't make this much at my job, so market opens Sunday at 5. So on Sunday I will make sure my account is funded, ready to go. Make my 100. My favorite pairs is GJ, so GBP and JPY, so Japanese yen and the Great British Pound. So that's my favorite. That was my favorite pair to trade. I studied it. I knew how it moved. It was volatile enough to the point where I could catch my pips. So pips is pretty much steps, like points. So like if the market goes up a step, 2 steps, and so my goal was to catch my pips, get out. But at the time I was greedy, so I never stick to my trading plan. That's how I blew out my account later. So I would catch my...
So how much of a loss did you end up taking?
Okay, so at first, before I became profitable, I would say I probably lost like $300.
Okay, not too big.
Yeah, not too... I'm very cheap with it back then. So once I started making that $100 a day, so by the end of the week, my account would be up to like $600, $700.
Yeah.
I would then withdraw, and then I would keep my $100 in, and then start all over again. I would repeat that until one point there was like a huge drop in the market. I think it was for UJ, so it's USD and JPY, again, Japanese yen. So it was like a huge drop for them. The market was dropping, so I was selling. I was in profit. I was extremely happy. So I kept taking crazy lot sizes because at one point I was like $200 in profit. Should have taken the money and just left. But no, I stayed in, and the next thing you know, the market starts going back up. But I'm like, oh, it's just retracing. It'll go back down. So at this point, that's where the psychology comes in, and market points and stuff that I wish I knew about. So I'm like, oh, it'll just go down, and it starts going up. It starts going up. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a longer retrace. It'll keep going. It'll go down again. Next thing you know, I'm in the negatives. And because it'll show you how much you have, how much you're losing, and how much you have available. So my equity was going down and down and down, and I still kept the money in there. And next thing you know, it automatically kicks you out once you reach a point to where you don't have none left. So once it kicked me out, I went from like $400 to 98 cents because I trade on Trader's Way. And it allows you to like risk a lot more, but they're very sneaky. Just gotta watch them.
That is a bit.
I know. So that's when I also learned about brokers, regulated and non-regulated brokers. Turns out Trader Ways is a non-regulated broker. So it means they're more on the sketchy side. So they're
as far as like protecting you and your money.
Yeah. So it's like if they know you're a beginner, so they have 2 books. They have the A book and the B book. So they notice that this is a beginner. They're most likely put you in the B book. So it's like you're not trading.
And what are these 2 books?
So a B book, you're not trading against the market. You're trading against the broker itself. Okay. So it's like it's a game between you and the broker.
Okay.
A book, when you put your trades in, it's actually going towards the market. If that makes sense. So I learned about that, and then I did more research on which brokers to go with. So I ended up making that switch, but the broker didn't have US 30, which I love to trade. It's the top 30 US companies, very volatile, like very, very, very. So I did research on that, and ever since I've just been doing more and more research to the point where I'm able to make like a steady profit now. Like it's not a lot, but like it's steady. So if I could take 3 losses back to back and I won't blow out my account because now I know what risk management is and stuff. Now I'm more patient. So now my goal is to keep.
Why did you want it so bad then? Like, why were you like willing to risk it all, basically.
Because of college. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to college.
So you're trying to like get rich quick and like, say like, hey mom, look at all this money I've made. I don't have to go to school.
Pretty much. And then just try to build on from there. So ever since then, I just kind of learned my lesson to just be patient, more organized, and actually just like, again, don't rush, like learn the rules and the basics of something and just, again, be patient. I think patience really is the key.
Of course.
So yeah, you're not going to get there overnight.
No,
That's for sure.
It's never that simple. And like that, I feel like that's what a lot of these like you were like talking to us about, or like these like trading classes, like these like YouTubers, like because I see it all the time, like these like Forex gurus. And they like will try to like shill you whatever they want to like, make a quick profit. Like, hey, join my like, Discord with like shoot, what are they called?
They have Discord.
Like,
they have Telegram.
Signals. Yeah.
On
so with,
Telegram.
like, they're like, hey, join my like Discord. I'll have like, these signals for you, and you'll make so much money. It's only like 200, blah blah blah. However much it is, and it's just like guaranteed money, 400% like return in a week. And it's just like it's all like ridiculous, like. And I feel so bad because just like you're just taking advantage of like people who are desperate, I guess is like the best way to put it. But yeah, like with any like type of like money that you like want to make long term, it's always like a really slow and like arduous process, as I'm very sure that you are now aware of.
Very.
So I mean that's like money though. It's like it's wealth. You're trying to like build yourself up and put yourself in a better position. If it was that easy, we'd all be filthy rich.
We would, but yeah, it's not. So,
out of curiosity, what brokerage do you use currently?
Currently I still use Fuga's Way. So they're not a regulated broker, but I like them. I still kind of use Trader's Way as well. And then I use this, I think, are they called OG? I use another broker. They're regulated, so I stick to those 3 brokers. Okay. But I tend to use the non-regulated brokers more than I use the regulated brokers due to the fact of the leverage and stuff. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so then why? So you've invested in a lot of things. You're invested in like in a Forex, you're invested in your company, trying to like build yourself up. Why is building so important to you?
Well, of course, I want to be my own boss one day. Like that's the end goal. I really don't want to work for nobody. And plus, I just love being hands-on. Like I love being creative. Plus, I want the world to like hear my ideas and stuff. And plus, overall, I just want better for my family because, my family I come from a family of immigrants and stuff. So the fact that I'm able to be here right now or just be in college or have what I have going on is like a privilege back home. So I just want to be able to give back for, what they give me, for the opportunity they gave me, because I don't want my child or my great grandson, daughter, or whatever to have to go through the struggle that I'm going through or that my family back home are going through. So,
generational wealth.
Generational wealth, yes.
Okay.
So where's your family back home from?
Liberia and Guinea, mostly West Africa.
Oh, and then you also mentioned that, you mentioned to me that you also bought a plot of land.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah. So why did you do that?
Okay, so me and my mom, we just recently bought a plot of land in Africa.
Wait, I thought you said you bought it with your cousins.
No, my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear to God, you told me like you and your like cousins are like something.
No, my mom. Yeah,
your mom?
Me and my mom.
Okay.
So we just recently bought a plot of land back home in Liberia.
Yeah.
Simply just so we could build a simple little house. So when we go back, we have something to go back to. And then we also plan on so in Africa they like early in the morning people will like go and sell stuff. So we also want to open like a mini store around the house. So again, just that just being able to provide for people back home. So it's like if we're not there, if there's a mini store, if anything happens, they're able to reach into those funds and take care of things back home. So we have the land. They've started the house space and stuff. We already sent them the pictures of how many bedrooms we want, how we want to look. So they started the process of that.
Okay, sweet. So like you're continuing the generational wealth, putting like money for your like relatives, and setting them up so like they don't have to like stress too much. And I really love that because it's not often that you see people like thinking about their family, like like back home, or like whether or not they might be like immigrants. It's I don't see a lot of like first generation kids caring about their family back home because like one, they might like just not know them that well, or just like not have a relationship with them. Like, is that relationship really important to you? Do you have a strong connection with like your the place you were born, the people that live there? Why is this even relevant to you?
Well, I do have a strong connection with my family back home, because I still have a pretty good memory from all the way back to when I was 3, when I used to be around them and stuff. The memories we shared, things we used to do, and plus just watching them struggle and stuff. And then just watching my mom struggle in general. Plus, my mom, she never really gave me the like choice to like be like selfish. I never really had the choice to be selfish. It's like I have to help provide for my family, because it's like when you have love for somebody, you just tend to care and you just want the best for them. So I've always just been like, I guess you could say, a family oriented person.
Sure.
So even when I came, even when we moved to America, I was still talking to my grandma back home every single day until she came here. I was still talking to my grandpa, my uncle back home every single day, in which I still do. So I think the fact that I have that connection with them is what actually helps, because my siblings, they don't have much. They never really got to meet them. So it's like they don't care, but it's like I live with them at a point in my life, and it's just, so I still remember them. So it's like I have to do what I can in my power to help them.
Do you think that has a lot to do with your hustle, as far as like wanting to like be something like bigger and better? So like you've become something yourself, but you also have created something for your family that like they can also eat off of.
I say yes. It's definitely because of my household. My mom herself, my grandma herself, both of them have always been like business oriented. Grandma used to sell fish back home. Mom grew up doing the same thing. Pretty much, she just grew up trying to help provide for her family as well. And she was the oldest female daughter, so it's like the males would go to school, she would go sell whatever she can in the market, come back home, cook, while my grandma's out taking care of business. So it's like it's in the household that it's just in the household.
Gotcha. I can dig it. Okay. Another really big question I have for you. On your entire journey, as far as like building wealth and figuring out how to do that, what have you seen on that path that has motivated you to do more? Or what mistakes have you seen other people make that have kind of like maybe like scared you from like doing what you're doing now?
And what motivated me the most, I would say, is results.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the results of, like, I'm able to look back to, when I didn't have this and that, versus now I have this and that. You're like, it's not a huge deal, but it still means something to me, because now it's like I'm aware of what I'm capable of doing.
Growth over time.
Yeah, growth over time. I'm able to see long run into the future and be like, okay, I want this and this for myself, and I can see this and this if I do this and that. And a mistake I would have to say that people make a lot is greed. Greed really will get the best of you. Like, greed and patience, I would say, go hand in hand. So that's something that I'm definitely trying to work on. And that's where my manifestation comes into as well. Trying to manifest, but like not put a time on results. So just letting things play out, not trying to rush no process, and learning down the way, and just being open-minded overall.
Of course. I mean, like, I can definitely tell you've had a lot of growing I get
You told me this. You was like, that's not realistic. I'm like, yes, it is. And now here I am. No, it's not.
Oh yeah. I like, dude, I don't even remember like the specifics of that conversation, but you were saying some like wild
I know.
stuff.
You're like, in 6 months, maybe for 2 years. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. I have a plan. And I was like, yeah, I have a plan, but I'm going to still get there. I still have confidence that I'm going to get there. But now it's like, I have to be more realistic. Like I can't aim high all the time. Like aim low. So because if you aim high and it doesn't happen, you're just going to be disappointed. You're just going to be discouraged. So it's just better to aim. Be realistic with yourself.
I think there's like a saying. What is it? Under promise, over deliver.
Yes, under promise, over deliver.
Okay. But yeah. Anyways, like a lot of growth from like the early stages. You know, like where you are now, understanding that it's okay to like not have an exact date when you know everything is going to work out. So long as you have like planned out your path, you know, like how you're setting things up. That way, you can like watch stuff grow. And I think that's the most important thing for trying to like one, build a business, or just like anything that you're putting like money in. It's like it's always like a waiting game. You know, we're trying to put things together, and with enough preparation and a little bit of luck, you know, it might just like work out the way you want it to. So I think that's like the really big lesson that I want everyone to take away from this. I know it's like probably it might be like really simple, and like, you know, everybody might already know that, but I think it's like we see it far too often with like whether it be like young people, or even like I see like probably more often with like middle-aged people, like, you know, like people in like their 30s trying to like jump into investing, and you know, like, you know, they'll throw like their money into like the hot like stock or like whatever it is.
Dogecoin will always make your money, bro.
Dogecoin blew up because the meme was funny enough, and that's the only reason why.
Well, can I tell you, I still have like 150 shares of it.
Wow.
They're not going up anymore. I'll tell you.
They
that.
will.
No,
I still believe.
Think they will. I think they will.
It is
diamond hands, baby.
But anyways, take your time. You know, if you have the passion for it, you want to like learn and like continue forward, it'll work out eventually. But anyways, I think we are good to start our segment for the day, which is Money Moves. So every week we have this like a segment called Money Moves. We talk about kind of like current events in money that like, or just like money in like business that happened in the past week, or just like something relevant like that. And this week we are talking about Facebook changing its name.
Oh, they are?
Yes, they are.
To what?
To what?
They haven't announced that yet. But
well, that doesn't help.
okay, but no, it's like the like general idea of like them like changing their name to begin with. Like they've like been Facebook for
forever,
yeah, like way too fucking long. But the reason for this change is they want to move from being a social media platform into a metaverse. And like what that means is so like, you know, that Facebook has like different properties, like you know, they have like a video streaming service called Facebook Video, or like whatever it's called. They have like a marketplace, all that stuff.
They own Oculus, they own Instagram, they own WhatsApp. Yeah.
So they plan to like basically like break it all up and have them all be their like own individual thing that is like connected. So like the metaverse is like the word that they're using. And what I was like kind of wondering is like, is this really like a change that's gonna like, you know, help them long term? You like, or is this kind of just gonna like end them, because, you know, like Facebook's kind of like already been under like scrutiny for like, you know, messing with people, or just like having like bad practices as far as like the negative effects of like social media on people. But like, what do you think overall?
Honestly, he's a smart guy. Like, he's not a billionaire for no reason. So I feel like him changing the name, obviously he has a plan, some type of plan. There's always a first for it. I personally don't know why he would want to change Facebook. I feel like people are still going to call it. Majority of the people are still going to call it Facebook.
Yeah.
But over time, the name will grow, and it's. So I feel like he has a plan.
I mean, it can always be a situation like Google, you know, where Google is owned by a parent company. Like, you just establish a parent company for all of these different.
I think you might be right, because I know like Facebook was getting hit with like an antitrust lawsuit a while back, which is basically just like the government saying, hey, you own too many profitable companies. You need to sell those to other people.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, that's still going to be an issue even with a parent company.
That's true. But like I don't really understand like why now, or like why a name change would really resolve anything. Because like when have you seen like, you know, a name change actually stick? Like I'm gonna make it really.
I don't think it's the point isn't to have it stick. I think the point is just to have everything under something that is not named Facebook, just so it's, you know, not associated with social media anymore, or just social media. Because Google does the same thing. Like their parent company's Alphabet. They're still traded under the name Google. They still function under the name of Google, but the parent company is Alphabet. Yeah. So like, you know, from Alphabet, you kind of spread out, and like you get all of the Google stuff that happens, you know, Gmail, Google Maps, everything. So I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to hope so, but I feel like at the end of the day, nothing really positive is going to come out of it for the end user. Just because we've already been seeing a lot with the like negative effects of social media in general. For instance, have you seen the Netflix documentary? What was it called? The Social Dilemma. Did you see that?
No, I haven't watched that.
Have you seen that?
Nope.
Okay. Do you know about it?
No clue.
Okay. So basically, it was kind of just like about social media taking advantage of, like, you know, people. You know, you kind of feed them what they want, but cannot have. And that's like what a lot of like social media, specifically like Instagram, I guess is the best example of that. So they'll stick around and like try to like, you know, pay with their attention basically. With Facebook, I think the big issue there is kind of just like misinformation.
Yeah, a
lot. Especially during election time. And isn't that what they like got under like a lot of scrutiny for? Isn't that what like Zuckerberg went to like court for, like under the Supreme Court to like talk about that?
I'm pretty sure he went to the Supreme Court because, I mean, he's been to the Supreme Court way too many times, first of all. And secondly, the infamous one was because of the security breaches. I don't think it was because of the, I mean, he might have. I just don't recall it.
Okay. All right. Well, unless they like actually change up their practices, which I don't think they will because it's like far too profitable. This name change, like putting themselves under a parent company as like a whole, nothing real will change. I wonder what they plan to do with like the change, because like it's just, you're just rebranding at that point. You know?
But if rebranding, you know, gets rid of half of the fires there, you know,
you think it
lighting
will?
up your ass, like,
maybe
that might, you know, at the end of the day, you're trying to make money. Think of it in their perspective, you know.
Yeah.
Like your company right now, it's nobody likes it. Half the people on there are like were on there 10 years ago, and they don't come back because of all the shit that they're hearing. And if a new thing pops up and, like, you know, it's a different name, do you think people do the research? Will you do the research?
I think Well, so you make
Because like until a couple of years ago, did you even know that Instagram was part of Facebook? Like,
I've known that for a while.
yeah. So like, a lot of people just don't care. They want their shit to work, and they just don't want the shit that works to be under fire in public media.
You're not wrong. And yeah, that like brought to light to me the importance of like a rebranding, like, because people won't realize that, maybe this like didn't used to be Facebook. So that might like bring back people who may have initially given up on Facebook because of their bad practices and just like overall like, really like broken like algorithms for like showing people negative things. So this might help them just like bringing back people, but I don't know what the long term looks like. We'll have to see. What do you think the name's gonna be?
No clue. It's gonna be something very generic, very
What's more generic than Facebook?
You'd be surprised.
No guesses? We don't want to make up any names?
I really can't think of nothing. For some reason, MySpace keeps popping into my head. I don't know why.
I think something about MySpace did happen recently. I can't remember what it is, and I'm not going to bother looking it up. So we're just going to pretend that didn't find it. But anyways, I think that is it for today. This has been the Live and Learn podcast. I forgot our podcast name.
Oh, wow. That's very reassuring there. Thank you, host.
All right, look. Calm down. I'm sure this happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And with our lovely guest, Mameki, thank you for coming with us and chatting with us for a little bit, telling us about your path to wealth.
Yes, path to wealth.
Mm-hmm. And I hope to whoever is listening took a few lessons, was able to like learn a little bit and realize longevity is key. Anyways, since we're wrapping up here, would you like to plug anything or shout anything out that you have going on?
First, I just want to say thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Of course.
And next, y'all should go support T LaVey on Instagram. Place in an order, get your customs, and support a Black-owned business. And also keep an eye out for Mameki's, Mameki. It's coming out soon.
We love to hear it. Okay, that's a wrap. Goodbye, everybody.